And so a friend of mine saw what we had done. He donated to my campaign, and he decided to try it with his friends. He reached out to his friends, made them all personal videos. He raised $10,000 in a day, ended up raising $20,000 in 2 days, and then it just dominoed and kind of snowballed from there, where we had other people that had donated, other people that had seen the campaigns, wanted to build their own school as well, and in no time we funded 100 schoolhouses in 8 countries that will touch and impact about 100,000 people. Thank you. And then from there, it kind of, again, just kind of snowballed into more. We started funding water projects and girl scholarships, anti-sex trafficking work, homelessness initiatives, veterans rehabilitation, more schools. And in total, it's funded now 400 projects all over the world, 14 countries. We've had 16,000 people give from 80 countries all over the world and impacted 200,000 people. And those numbers are really exciting. I love looking at those. But what those mean, like, look through the numbers for a second and know what this means: that people have clean water that didn't have clean water. And families have homes that didn't have homes. And kids have schools that didn't have schools. All stemming from a moment of oneness. Now, this story is nothing new. You've heard it 100 times before. Someone leaves their environment, they immerse themselves in another environment, they learn about the culture, learn about the people, ideally experience something like that they would explain that would sound something like oneness, and then change the trajectory of their life. Think about Scott Harrison from New York, nightlife promoter, left his environment to New York, went to Liberia on the African continent, immersed himself in a new culture, had a moment that I would call oneness, came home, started an organization called Charity Water, that has now impacted millions of people through clean water and sanitation. Or John Wood, really successful executive with Microsoft, living his own life in San Francisco, came out of that environment, immersed himself into a new environment in Southeast Asia, found this massive need for libraries and books, came home after experiencing this oneness experience, and started Room to Read. Room to Read opens more libraries than Starbucks opens cafes. Now, the thing is, these people are the exceptions. They're the anomalies. They're the people we see on CNN Heroes and think, wow, those people are doing some really good things in the world. I'm glad they're doing that work. What if they weren't the exception? What if they weren't the anomaly? What if I told you that there's a predictable, replicable path to oneness? What would our world look like if every single person on earth experienced oneness? If we all looked at each other like brothers and sisters? So, how do we go about creating a path to oneness? You remember that equation that I was talking about, the 33 people, $3.33 a day for 3 months? We changed that to be 11 people giving $3.33 a day for 3 months, which adds up to $3,300, enough to build a home like this, all throughout Latin America, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Brazil, Argentina, Chile. And the houses that this family here was living in prior was a one-room shack made of tin, some mud, some sticks, dirt floor, no locking doors, no locking windows, rickety roof over their head. And now they have this home, which is a 2-bedroom home with a living area, solid foundation, wood floors, 2 bedrooms, living area, solid roof over their head, and the dignity that comes with having a place to call home. Now, how do we package this oneness? What we thought we'd do is we would get a bunch of people that had raised enough money to build these homes and their friends who wanted to come and help build. We get 50 of them, put them on a plane, fly them all down on a Friday to a place like this, like Nicaragua. And the next day, or they sleep Friday night at a schoolhouse that's close to the build site, get up Saturday morning, Nicaraguan coffee in their hand, go to the build site, meet the family that's going to be living in the home that they've just funded. They build with the family and a bunch of local volunteers, like local university students. Then lunchtime, the mother that's going to be living in the house is the one who at lunchtime, the mother who's going to be living in the home cooks everyone a meal, and they share and they break bread together. Build for the rest of the day. Same thing on Sunday. Get up Sunday morning. Build all day Sunday with the family, with the local volunteers. And at the end of the day on Sunday, my favorite moment, there's this ribbon cutting ceremony where the funders and the builders hold up a ribbon. The family cuts through the ribbon, and the funder hands them the keys and watches them walk into their home for the very first time. And these moments of oneness, they're kind of strewn all throughout this trip. Sometimes it happens when they're connecting with the family, hearing their stories, hearing about their challenges, hearing about their goals in life. Sometimes it's when they're laughing and playing with the kids. But when they do happen, we don't just tell people to throw them back on a plane and go back to their normal life after they've just had this most transformative experience potentially of their existence. We go to the beach, we We have some cold beers, some hot papooses, we surf, we do yoga, we meditate, we journal, we talk about, most importantly, how they're going to integrate this experience into their day-to-day lives and what they're going to do going forward.